If you've ever looked at buying a business or even selling your business, you've probably heard of SDE before. It stands for seller discretionary earnings. When you're looking at a small business, oftentimes a service business, SDE is important because it tells you what that owner in dollar value is really benefiting from the business. So a lot of times like top line revenue or net income doesn't tell the full story because a business might only have $100,000 of net income, but if it's paying the owner who doesn't have to, work in the business 300 grand a year, then the SDE would be more like $400,000. So if you're looking at buying or selling a business, you absolutely should work with someone who understands the numbers and has seen business transactions before to analyze the SDE. I'm working with a client right now looking to buy a service-based business, and there's some really big disagreements on what SDE is and not. So I've got to look into the financials and peel back through, employee W-2s, all the stuff to understand what the true SDE is, because the seller is trying to include things like employee bonuses. They're saying that this is the owner just being nice and wants to give standard employees bonuses. Well, that's compensation to employees, and they come to expect that year after year. Something else to consider is if the owner of the business works in the business and the value of the work that he's doing, because there might be some sort of calculation that you need to factor in to pay someone to do what they do. So in the end, there's tons of things that can be SDE, from profit sharing, vehicles, depreciation, interest on loans, self-rent, all this stuff. You can't just go off what the seller is telling you SDE is, because they might be juicing those numbers to look as high as possible, because the higher the SDE is, the higher you'll pay based on a certain multiple, most likely. So absolutely work with someone who can help you figure that out, or at least look at the financials yourself and peel through all the numbers.